We'll launch into the second part of our official press conference here for the Boost Mobile WSX Grand Final here at Marvel. In terms of SX2 riders, we welcome from Firepower Honda, firstly Max Anstie, from Rick Ware Racing, Shane McElrath, representing Team GSM, Blose Desprey, and from Honda Nils, Chris Blose. Riders, welcome. Can we start with the thoughts that we did with our WSX riders? Just an observation on Marvel Stadium, this cool, long Supercross track. What your first thoughts on it are?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, some of the 450 guys, like you come into this stadium and you see the footprint that we have here, and it's exciting. And being in Australia is just, last year was my first time in Australia and getting to do some of the activities last year, and then also again this year it's becoming routine-ish, but it's really cool because we don't get to do these things in the U.S. So. Yeah, then seeing the footprint of the stadium and having so much room still on the outsides of the track, it's really exciting because we know exactly what we're kind of getting into, and just to get to see this place filled up tomorrow night is it's exciting. Max, fire in if you want to.
Yeah, no, he said everything the same. Of course, it really feels like a world championship. You know, we've raced in Birmingham with open roof stadium, traditional football or soccer stadium back there, and then Abu Dhabi was small, tight, arena cross style with it going outside, and then here, yeah, it's like being in a US stadium. So of course it's cool. It brings a lot of diversity with the track and change and settings and bike and whatever. So. Yeah, it feels good. It's a world championship, so I'm pumped with it.
Have you at all identified parts of the track that you feel will be the secret to a fast lap, to a good lap around here? What parts of Marvel?
I haven't looked at the track yet. Yesterday I tried, but not enough of it was built to really see. But this dirt here last year was actually really good. It definitely did harden up a little bit, but it kept good moisture in it all day. So I know there were many different passing opportunities, and I think that this year is probably going to be similar to that. And just the dirt here, the stadium, everything is looking really good, and I know that we have the footprint to work on. So yeah, I mean, like Adam had said, that the crew has been kind of nonstop now, and I'm excited to go walking in a couple hours and then watch the Australian Supercross guys ride it, because we can start to learn from lap one of when they go out there.
Chris, maybe chime in here about what you might do just to get acquainted with it, and perhaps, as you say, observing some of the WSX competitors as well and what they're doing.
Yeah, like Shane said, we haven't walked the track or really seen it at all yet. So, we'll go out there in a couple hours and check things out. But yeah, no, super excited. I think this track's going to be awesome. At least from the track map, I think there's a lot more 180 turns, which is going to create for some good passing. So yeah, no, really looking forward to it. As always, like the whoop section's super important, and starts are going to be key with the short races. So really looking forward to it. I love the stadium. Marvel's always been good to me, and yeah, just excited to be here right now.
Good stuff. Maxime, bonjour. Do you like the track?
Yeah, I haven't seen the track yet, but yeah, super happy to be here in Melbourne with a big stadium, big track. So it will be different than Abu Dhabi for sure. And but yeah, we are here. It's the last round, so we are ready for the race.
Can I come to Max Anstie now? We talked a little bit about this last night. I know. What would it mean for you to be that British World Supercross champion? Are you daring to entertain the notion of that at this point? How are you approaching the weekend?
Well, I mean, one job at a time. I've got tonight to go and back up my Australian Supercross Championship. For the team, it's a huge deal. Honda Australia, Yariv, my boss, even he's still the boss over on the US team. So a lot of the sponsors come from Australia and things like that. So it's definitely nice to give back to those guys. So one job at a time. Get tonight done, execute, and do what I need to do tonight, and then tomorrow we go to work for a world championship. And of course it's nice. I've given myself in both classes, in both championships, a pretty good points gap going into this final round. So it makes the 2 nights of racing slightly easier, I would say, with mentally going in. I don't have to win every race, but of course nothing changes. I want to go and execute and hit my marks and race as hard as I can, and to win a world title would be fantastic. And I've got a lot of great guys up here that I got to race against, and still until the checkered flag flies in that last race, it's all eyes on just focusing on going as fast as I can and doing what I need to do. And I want one of those gold medals, but still got a ways to go yet.
The media here asked Dean Wilson before a similar kind of question. So how taxing is the double header, and advantage or disadvantage from going both nights, contesting both nights?
I think the biggest advantage for me is I haven't travelled. I've since Abu Dhabi, I flew here, raced in Newcastle, up by Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and then I've just Dean and myself and the team, we've had a really good track to train on here, so we've just been wide open training and staying in this time zone and things like that. So for us at least, the 2 nights of racing, it's 2 nights, but it's one main event tonight, which is fine. The last round was a Triple Crown, and that's obviously a little harder. So it'll be fine. It's I did look at the schedule. It's quite good that these guys get to ride after my main event, so at least we get to go to bed at the same sort of time. I was thinking, man, I'm going to be up quite late tonight, but I think everyone's going to be in the same boat because the World Supercross free practice is after our main event. So I'm happy. It is what it is, and I'll be ready to go tomorrow no matter what.
Cool. From the point of view of competition, what will it take to win the title on Saturday night from some of the people you're up against here?
Well, I just need to be 1 point by the last main event, but I don't know. I just need to go and do my thing. I haven't even. I'm sure the team have figured out points and all this stuff, but I mean, as the story goes, I want to win the night as well because I want that bonus money off my off my team manager, so off my team boss. But I don't know. It's one of those where I'm shaking him out upside down. We've had this joke a lot. At the end of the day, a world title has been a dream since I was 7 years old. It's being from the UK, being from England, and growing up, Supercross feels so far away, and the US feels, like stars in the sky, and it's like, to be able to now, with WSX being global, race and showcase Supercross around the world, it's been fantastic this year, and I'm excited about the growth of it, and of course, it's been since 2001. Jamie Dodd was the last British world champion, and that was MXGP. But I don't care what it is, whether it's GPs or World Supercross. An FIM world title is a world title, and I'll do my best to go and get it. But as far as it goes, just need to be 1 point by the end of it. But I'm definitely coming out swinging tomorrow. I want to go and finish it on top.
Shane, can we come to you on that basis then? He's just covered the point scenario. He says he's going to come out swinging. What about the play for you? What is the approach for you here to try and wrestle this thing from him?
Honestly, I think it doesn't really change. It's easy to get caught up in the points and kind of miss what needs to happen tomorrow just from a race-by-race scenario from my position. It's like I need to get good starts. Just kind of like I did at round 1. I wasn't able to do that being on the second row in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. And so, just take things one step at a time, kind of like I have last year and this year. There is a big points deficit, which is what we have to deal with. So for me, it's one race at a time, and that's what I'm kind of looking forward to.
Does that kind of mean Max is sort of squarely in your sights, or are there other riders you need to consider or be mindful of in this quest?
I mean, I ultimately have to beat everybody. So Max is leading the championship, but there's so many good guys out there that are racing, and so it's like if I don't get a good start, I have to pass all those good guys. So Max's starts were good in Abu Dhabi, and he had a really good really good gate position, and Maxime was riding really good there and really aggressive, and Chris Blose, he was getting really good starts at round one and really pushing hard in the beginning. So it's and there's more people outside of these guys too that are really good and can go fast for the kind of the short duration that some of these races are. So it's definitely an uphill battle a little bit, but we're racers, and I'm excited to just go out and race and do everything I can. Like I'm happy with how I rode in Abu Dhabi. Like I had to pass a lot of people for being on that tight track, and it was like I did everything I could to still get like 8s and 9s. So yeah, I'm excited to be here racing.
Good stuff. Maxime, can we come to you? You are in great form coming in here. Can you keep that momentum going here at Marvel?
Yeah, I hope. We had many races the last few weekends with German Championship, France Championship. So yeah, we will try to ride like I know. Last weekend I had a small crash in Paris the first night, so yeah, see, it was more difficult after that. So we had 1 week off. It was still a long trip to come here, but yeah, we are ready for the last round, and if I can have a podium, will be yes, super. But I think the key for me is just ride like I know, don't think about the result, and we will see at the end of the day.
What has been key to this form for you right now?
I don't know. We train a lot in France, and we had yes, many races. So the bike also is better from last year, and yeah, last year when I rode with the guy, it's like I was not surprised. I know, but everybody is fast. It's short race, so you have to be really, you have to be 100% from the beginning of the race, because it's short race. So yeah, maybe I have more experience, and yeah, that's it. I think it's a global thing, and so yeah, it's cool to be here, and we will see tomorrow.
Merci. Chris, can we come to you? You're in great form. That SX2 championship podium must seem like it's in close reach. How are you feeling coming into Melbourne?
Yeah, no, I feel really good. The moment I landed here in Australia, I felt awesome. I haven't really, honestly, had any jet lag, so coming in, my body feels really, really good. So just really looking forward to it. Like I said earlier, Marvel Stadium has always been really, really good to me. So winning the Australian SX2 championship in 2019, and I just love this place. Everyone's always kind of welcomed me with open arms. So it's been awesome. I'm feeling good. I'm excited to get out there, obviously later tonight and get some laps in on the track, and then also watch the Australian Supercross go down and try to learn from them. So there can be a lot to learn, and obviously we have 3 short races tomorrow, and yeah, got to make them all count, that's for sure.
I'm glad you bring up the affinity with this venue. I mean, Abu Dhabi seemed to really lend itself to you, that you enjoyed it there. What about the change for Marvel? How significant is the switch for riding here and being successful here?
Yeah, it's more of a traditional Supercross track, a lot bigger. Obviously, the stadium's so cool. A lot of cool stuff that goes on here, and a lot of cool stuff that you kind of don't see. Like, Adam was behind-the-scenes stuff with all the railroad ties underneath that make this thing go on. So, just super excited to be here. Tracks, I think, is going to be awesome, at least from the track map that they have. A lot of 180 turns, so I think it makes for better racing, and it's going to be some good passing, and yeah, should be good.
Good stuff. Can we open the floor to questions, please, if you have some? Alex.
Alex Gobert, motoronline.com. For Max, we saw a slight revision in the format there in Abu Dhabi. The first 2 finals were close together, and then there was a gap before the last one. So you also did similar in Newcastle. Is that an improvement for you in terms of the race structure, or does it make much difference?
I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it doesn't necessarily make much difference, apart from you can switch a clutch out and work on any little bits and pieces that you need to. The bikes get hot in those back-to-back races. Like even in Newcastle, the Oz bike, the just 6 and then sitting there on the gate, like pushing. No, it's an 8-lapper, and it was 2.8s in Newcastle, and I had to really come through the pack in that first one because I hit someone in the first turn, and I was breathing heavy in that first one, and I could feel the bike was getting hot. So it's doing 3 back-to-backs is hard on the bikes, and I think you run the risk because our Supercross engines are different. They're not supposed to be run at that high temperature like an outdoor bike. So I think the 2 mains and then a brake and then the third main is good. It gives you a little bit of time to reset, refocus, and go again. It can go in your favour or it cannot. Sometimes if you're on a roll, it's good to just bang them out. But it's also good for the track. I felt like in Abu Dhabi, the track was hammered by the last main. Obviously, the first main we did was pretty flat. Then the last main was hammered. So it was, I think that's a good thing because it makes it more interesting, makes it harder for the guys to move forward. So I think it's a good thing.
MotorOnline.com for you, Shane. Abu Dhabi, tough night for points for you. Does that give you a little bit more motivation coming in tomorrow night to sort of prove a point, to get back up there? And then talking about Abu Dhabi, how was that, for you being so hard with points?
Yeah, kind of your original question, yes and no. For me, kind of coming here this year, it is exciting. I think really the only thing that changes is just kind of being kind of frustrated with Abu Dhabi, and so riding with maybe a little bit more of a chip on my shoulder. It was definitely tough. I felt like I did the best I could with kind of everything that I was dealt, and we kind of got put in a bad position, and it was definitely a bummer. I mean, as racers, we have to kind of learn and adapt on the go. I mean, we go different places every weekend and learn new tracks, and which is pretty fun. And it's like even on a tighter schedule, like throughout the day, it's like, oh, we found out that the schedule changed. And so that was definitely tough. Even the tight racing, like I enjoy the tight racing. I think probably the only thing I disagree with was the stack start, which I'd never done anything like that. But even after my heat race, it's like, oh, I can deal with an outside gate pick. Like I'm not too worried about that. But the kind of just thinking about Abu Dhabi is like, well, maybe I mean, I couldn't have really done anything different except if it was a everybody on the same start. So, but then that's a logistics issue with the size of the floor plan. So, I mean, it's definitely a bummer, but at the same time, we all knew going into it, like, okay, we've got to execute, and we had to switch my clutch right after timed practice. And then we went straight into the heat races, and we didn't even have time. Like, I'm on the starting gate trying to heat my clutch up, and just, we didn't really have much time. So that was really kind of where, or I guess what set the tone for my night. And from then on, it was just, okay, I got to race as hard as I can and pass as many people as I can. And I did that, but it just, I mean, I won the second row. That was fun, but it was. I enjoyed the tight racing, but it's coming from behind was tough.
The age-old question is having a number one plate on the motorcycle, if it's mentally changing for you.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a couple rounds now. Does it feel any different with the number one on the bike?
No, it doesn't. Like and I think that question gets brought up a lot, and it's. Even when you get the number one plate, it's easy to think about. You're like, oh man, like is it going to be different? And kind of coming into this year, coming into Birmingham, it's like, well, not much has changed. Like same guys are racing, and kind of the same goal, and we're all kind of traveling far to get to these races, and so it's the same obstacles we deal with all the time, and it's like having the number one plate. It was almost a small obstacle compared to everything else that we have to adapt to. So for me, it honestly didn't feel much different. I mean, it's cool to have. It's not as cool when it's not red, but yeah, it's good.
Okay. Hey, Max, for you quickly, you know, last year when you got back on the 250, was this the dream scenario? Was this what you pictured for yourself after AMA Supercross, after Australian Supercross, and now potentially World Supercross? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned in my career that you can never look too far ahead and try to plan this or plan that. I mean, I was a 450 guy for years. I raced MXGP, and you know, I won my last race at Lommel, and never did I think I'd be back in the States. And then I went back to the States. I got the opportunity, was racing a 450, and I mean, Shane and I were on the same team in 2022, and then halfway through that season, everything goes sideways, and we're all left without a ride. And now here we are. You know, Yuri picked up the phone and got me back on a 250, and I was eligible. And after all the things in my career, you know, there was no age limit in the US Supercross, and I hadn't pointed out. So, yeah, for me, it's given me a whole new start to my career. I feel like I'm 17 again, even though I'm 30 and I've raced all around the world for a lot of years. Learning Supercross and figuring things out has been so much fun. You know, I'm enjoying it, and yeah, it's just been a progression, and the Australian Supercross Championship's been great fun, and of course now World Supercross, and I think for me it's just been something that I've really enjoyed doing, and I'm looking forward to getting through tomorrow night, and then full focus on East Coast Supercross next year, and then that's the plan.
We might call it there. There'll be a chance for one-on-ones later. Can you please thank Chris, Maxime, Shane and Max. Wish them a safe and successful weekend. Here's to a great Boost Mobile WSX Grand Final, everybody.